Cheers. So I feel like what's coming to me today, find out what makes you tick. I looked up this phrase. I think you've probably heard of it before. Like, what makes a person tick? I looked it up. And what I saw and what stood out to me was the underlying like motivation, your reasons why you do what you do. The reasons, the underlying motivation behind your actions, behind your behavior, knowing your why. And I think that there's something about when you come to know of the love of God, when you begin to know the love of God, it has this way of reading you like a book. Reading you like a book that has already been written, and it's such a lovely story. Even though you may not know the story, it's the way that he brings you into his love. And maybe you've experienced this or have yet to experience this, but this is where I believe you will find your fascination. You will become fascinated. It's almost like the fascination was always there and you were waiting for the right thing to become hooked on. But you were made to be hooked on him. You were made to be obsessed. I really believe this. If it's not for others, it's definitely for me, and this is what makes me tick. But I believe that it's in every single person because we were made to know and be known by him. We were made for him and by him. And your fascination, I believe, will become, this is how he loves me. This is how he loves me. And the knowing of this is how he loves me brings you deeper into knowing how you tick, right? It gives you more of an understanding of your life and you as a person and what separates you from other people, but not in this like isolating kind of way, but just this unique place where there is one of you and there is one of me. I might tick a little bit differently than how you tick. But how does he love you? How does he love you? Because the way that he loves me is oh so personal. And I think that's the way that he loves. It's personal. He comes for that personal place. But I believe there's a fascination in all of us. A fascination to know more deeply of that love. And we go through the trials and the tribulations of our lives. We go through this, it feels like a simulation in a physical world of like, no, yeah, this is nice and this is nice and this is good. But I'm waiting for something to come in and really move me. Right? Because when you experience something, you're like, that was great. But usually it's kind of short-lived. You're hungry for more. I find myself hungry for more. If anything, the good things just show me that I have this appetite for goodness that seems to be endless. But that appetite for goodness seems to be this appetite towards how he loves me. Knowing more deeply, eating, chewing on it, knowing the truth in it, the truth about myself, the truth about him. He will uncover you in that way. I believe that he will uncover you in that way, and you won't help but be transformed as you see, this is why I do this thing that I do. This is why I react this way. This is the me in this decision. This is the me in doing this thing. It's not for other people. I thought it was supposed to be for other people because I was looking outside of myself because I had this hunger. that only he could satisfy. And it seems like I was tricked in that way. I was looking out there, and I looked out there and I got disappointed. And he's like, no, I'm closer. I am what makes you tick. This fascination that you have for me will be organic. Allow me to uncover it in you. Because it doesn't really work the other way, to try to serve him religiously. Just because he's holy, whatever these things that we say, we're supposed to do these things for him. It's not going to work long term, though. But when he uncovers that fascination that is in you, when you get to know the one who's always known you, and the one who sees you in a way you've never been seen before, I believe this is where you will say, this is where I'm supposed to be. And nothing out there comes close to what this is. And I will give my life to know more of this. I think this is what happens in us being, what's produced in us is this authentic worshiper in spirit and in truth. This is where I feel like it comes from. It's this knowing of the way that he loves me, knowing of the way that he sees me. The woman at the well went away and told everyone about who Jesus was, not because it was a religious obligation, but because she met the one, not because of the religious obligation, right? But it was because she met the one who could see her clearly. And he called out what people said about her. Oh, you're the woman with many men. This is why you're coming in the middle of the day when it is hot to draw water. It's because you've been rejected from society, but I knew you would be here. And I'm not going to shame you like they shamed you, but instead I'm going to receive you in this place that's outside where you have felt like you belonged, is outside of things. This is the way I'm discovering the way I tick anyway. There's been such a heavy, I guess, dose of shame that makes me feel like I'm not even safe in my own skin. And I've had nowhere to go with that. And I come to find the one who sees me beyond this place, and I become fascinated, right? Hungry to know the truth, because the word says the truth will set you free, right? And so I've become hungry in a prison of shame for the one, to know the one who sees me past the shame so that I can be truly set free. And I feel like this woman at the well, I relate with her in that way. I think that she carried a lot of shame. She was greatly misunderstood. And I don't think that she even understood why she had many men. Many relationships with men. But Jesus did. And he called out what people said about her. But then he saw her through that. And she went away in joy and in freedom. Because she's like, come and meet the man who knows everything about me. Does that sound like a woman who's ashamed? She was set free from the shame, I think, on that day. She was being prepared. There was a divine appointment to meet Jesus at the well. Because of shame, because she wasn't received by those around her, because she was judged by those around her, she was basically ostracized to go and draw water at this time. And he's like, I'll meet you in that shame. I'll meet you in the surface level place where you can see yourself or can't see yourself really, and where others have seen you. Because I know the way you tick. I know why you do what you do. I know why you behave the way you behave. It's not so bad, actually. And whenever I uncover this, when I uncross these wires, and you get to see what I see, you will become fascinated in what I see in you. For me, I'm like, God, I think I can't make these videos for other people. It wouldn't work. And just the same way that this is the way that I'm discovering that I tick, right? It has to be for something else. It has to be for something more. For one, in my life, I felt like I was always supposed to do everything for everybody else. Be the extra in someone else's main story situation. Because I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. That's what shame will do to a person. But I come and meet the one that says, no, you have a story of your own. And you're not doing this for them. And it is good that you are not doing this for them. And you see, everyone has a them. But you will find him with you as it relates to them. What I mean is, there's a place in you where only he can be. And whenever you do things from an honest place, meaning you come to know of the fascination that he has towards you, and you start to live in response to that love. People are like, I can't do it for other people, but I want them to know of the love that I have found. And that's why I think that the woman at the well couldn't help but run away and go and tell everyone about him. Because she's like, this is what I'm fascinated in, and I can't help but speak more about what I am fascinated in. If you've gotten used to living in a prison of shame, to be broken out of that prison of shame, you're going to talk about the one who broke you out. Perhaps it becomes your whole identity. I was like, yeah, I can't make videos for other people. Not in that way. I have a heart in me to help others, yes. But what am I helping them with? Because I won't aid people in helping themselves. But I will show them, I will be a witness that in your weakness, like in my weakness, he came in with the strength. He will come into that place where you can't love yourself or see yourself or receive yourself. Because it wouldn't matter if you had all the external validation in the world if you don't love yourself, receive yourself, or see yourself. Because you're just relying on what they can see. And so you're kind of just like subjugated to it. I don't know if that's the right word. Just kind of, you need that from them. And there's not going to be much healthiness in those relationships. But when you see, it's like, I want you to know that you were loved by him and received by him in a place you need it the most. I want others to see these videos and be transformed by his love. I don't want them to help themselves, because I feel like those results are very short-lived. But those seem to be the popular ones, the ones that most people can hear, I think. But it's of no value to me. I'm like, I keep making these videos. And he's like, you're doing it for me because I've uncovered you. I am finding what makes me tick. And now the way that I want to love others is I want them to come to know of the way that they tick, right? To come to know of why they do what they do, the motivations behind their actions, the motivations behind your actions. I want you to do things from a place of love, from a place of freedom, from a place of knowing yourself, knowing that you are received by him, knowing that he knows everything about you and he has not put you to shame. And I want you to find confidence in that, because I want to find confidence in that, because I am finding confidence in that. This has become my ultimate fascination. My ultimate fascination is to know and be known. And I definitely have a special place in my heart because I know how it feels to feel like the one on the outskirts of town, the one drawing the water in the heat of the day, because you were rejected. But this is where I don't think it will matter for you, like I don't think it's starting to matter for me. Because external validation is nothing compared to being seen by him. To knowing, receiving the love that he has for you that comes into a personal place. There's nothing that compares to that. Nothing that compares to that. And when you know of this, you won't help but be transformed. You won't help but want to love him and serve him and to know him. I have this place in me right now where I hate him so much, but am I still not obsessed? I am so obsessed. He is the only one that has me continually fascinated. Because it seems there's a limitation with myself, like there's a limitation with other people. They can only see so deep. And I'm in this place where in order to be set free, I need someone to see me deeper than anyone's ever seen me before. And I need to know more deeply the one who's always seen me more deeply. But that's just me. And I think it's in all of us. And your language and the way that you express that is going to be different than mine. But it is my desire that you would find that you would find that in yourself. Do you allow him to uncover it? Because he seems to already know where it is. He comes in and loves you in that place you need love the most. And you're like, oh, I was doing this for these reasons, and I was doing this for those reasons. It's because I didn't know of this love. But now that I have found this love, there's nowhere for me to go except deeper into this love. And if you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, I'll say, that's all right. Ask him about it. Ask him about it as it relates to you, not anybody else, but for you. I always seem to care more about the individual than the crowd or the audience. It's nice when individuals know themselves and they create an audience, but it's not an audience that share the same mind in a way, but those that have become so liberated as individuals that now they have this collaboration, this harmony with other people, because they don't need external validation anymore. I want people to not need external validation anymore. Because what a prison it is to live in, to always need that. And I get it. He's the only one capable. Because that's what I've come to know about myself. This great need. And that's how I tick, and that's why I did what I did before that I don't do anymore. It's because I was looking for him. I was looking. So I would say, find out what makes you tick, and find that it's not about other people receiving you or not receiving you, so that what you can actually receive them. This is how you become one who loves. I think love is patient, love is kind, love does not boast, right? It does not need like that. So you're able to fully give when you don't need it reciprocated. You don't give from a place of I need this to come back to me, but you give from a place of fullness, from a place of overflow. And this is only possible when you come to know the love of God. The love of God that is for you, the individual. This is what makes me me. And I'm coming to know more deeply how he sees me, and I'm loving from this place that is authentically me. So now I'm understanding how I tick, the motivations behind my actions. I'm not so confused about that. That's kind of a wonderful thing. And I want people to experience that. I do. But even if you don't, and I know I don't become popular on the internet or something, I don't know if I'm ever going to stop talking about what I'm fascinated in. And that's what I would want for other people to experience. The thing that drives them, that doesn't require the fuel of external validation. I think it's in all of us, right? It's the way like a painter doesn't paint to sell a painting, but a painter paints because there's joy in it, because they're connected with the paintbrush, because there's this love for this thing they do. Have you found that in your life? Do you know more deeply and intimately why it is this thing that I do brings me so much joy? Why it is that I like this and I don't like that? Why it is that I cry whenever I hear something like this, or I laugh when I hear something like that? I think there's so many like Easter eggs, there's so many like hidden treasures in the way that we're already responding. So many things to be uncovered, the hidden things to be brought into the light. And he will bring it out and say, this is why you do it this way. This is how you tick. This is why you cry when you listen to that. This is why you laugh so deeply. I've given you this sense of humor, right? I have given you this skill. It's not just to bless other people. I think that's the splash. But it has to fill you up first. I really believe that it does. I think that's he loves in that way, so that we can be reservoirs of love, ones that don't need it in return, so we can be more impactful in the long run. Because it does not depend, like my energy source does not depend upon others giving me energy, so I'm able to actually be a greater source of that energy, because I've met the one and only source. He sees me. He sees you. And this isn't one of those things where you're going to try to trick your mind into being somewhere that you're not. If you need the external validation, you have to walk through that. You have to walk through that. The dishonesty has to be exposed in you, because to find out how a person ticks is you have to go underneath the surface of things, where a lot of people don't want to go. I get it. But he will take you by the hand and lead you into the dark places of your psyche, of your mind. And you're like, oh, no, I can't. And you're going to find beautiful things in there. Such beautiful, that's me. Oh, that's how you made me. And people may not get it. I don't think everyone is going to be your biggest fan. And I think you're going to like what you like more than more than how other people are going to like it for you. Because it's your thing. You're going to like your thing. I expect you to like your thing more than another person likes your thing. And then you're going to keep doing your thing, regardless of whether someone likes it or not. You're like, because it's how I tick. I know why I do what I do now. It's because he's taken me beneath the surface. And he showed me how much he loves the way that he has made me and he has created me. And you can't unsee that. I want to give that. If I could give anything to anybody, I would want them to have that. I think I'm good. Are you good? Let's find out a little bit more in this video what makes you tick. Has the Holy Spirit showed you something new? Once you start to see new things, old things will never be the same. I feel like I sound like Willy Wonka. You're like, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking about? Right? Once you start to see the new things, old things will never be the same. It won't hit the same way. You're like, oh my God, I never knew that was in me. I want you to find the, oh my God, I never knew that was in me stuff. It's underneath the surface. That's where the hidden treasure is. It's beneath the surface. You might have to dig for a little bit, but you got someone digging right alongside you. He seems to know where it's buried at too. He just likes to have a friend in the digging. He's like, come on, it's right over here. You're like, we've been digging for years, man. He's like, it's right here. I know where I buried it. I know when you're gonna find it. It's gonna be worth it.